The grand hall of the galactic arena echoed with the low hum of voices. Warriors from across the galaxy gathered to witness what they believed would be another simple display of the galaxy's strongest fighters. Beings from worlds that had trained for centuries, honing their powers to near perfection. Yet there was a buzz in the air, a curiosity, a slight nervousness that had never been present before. The arrival of the humans. For centuries, humans had been considered weak, insignificant in the eyes of the galactic powers. To the sophisticated, alien races, they were an afterthought. A species with raw potential, yes, but one that was nowhere near the caliber of the great warriors who had battled their way to the top of the cosmic food chain. But today was different. Today, the humans were going to show what they were truly capable of. As the warriors filled the seats, a strange silence swept over the arena when the humans entered. There were no grand spaceships or elite transports, just a modest shuttle that landed with a soft thud. Out stepped a team of 5 humans. Ordinary in appearance, they looked like anyone you would see on Earth. No fancy armor, no grandiose weapons, just their worn training uniforms and the steely determination in their eyes. The alien warriors sneered. This would be over before it even began. The galactic arena's master, an ancient being who had witnessed countless battles and victories, raised his hand to silence the crowd. Today, he began, his voice booming across the arena, we witness a display from the humans. It is said that they have strength, resilience, and spirit. But can it compare to the finest warriors the galaxy has ever known? A murmur rippled through the crowd as they eyed the humans with disbelief. But the humans said nothing, only taking their places in the center of the arena. The first challenge was simple, a test of strength. The arena's surface was made of the hardest material known to the galaxy, and each warrior was asked to strike it with all their might, leaving a mark or crack as proof of their power. One by one, the alien warriors stepped up. Their strikes echoed like thunder as they hit the arena floor, creating massive cracks and tremors that shook the ground. They smiled, confident that their power was unmatched. Then, it was the humans' turn. The first human, a tall man with short black hair, stepped forward. He flexed his hands, cracked his neck, and then raised his fist. The crowd leaned forward in anticipation, eager to see how this weak human would fare. With a single punch, he struck the arena floor. The sound that followed wasn't thunderous, it was more like a hammer striking an anvil, sharp and clear. But the result was stunning. A deep, wide crack formed at the point of impact, spreading like a web across the entire arena floor. The silence that followed was deafening. The crowd stared in disbelief. The master of the arena raised an eyebrow. Impressive, he muttered, though he tried to hide his surprise. But this was only the beginning. The next test was agility. It wasn't enough to have strength. True warriors were fast, quick on their feet, able to dodge and counter any attack. One by one, the alien warriors were tasked with dodging laser-like beams that shot out from the walls. They moved with elegance, but none of them truly struggled. They were, after all, the strongest beings in the galaxy. Then came the human team. A woman with sleek blonde hair, her movements quick and precise, was the first to face the challenge. The first beam shot out, and she dodged it effortlessly. Then the second, third, and fourth beams came one after the other, each faster than the last. But she danced between them, moving with such grace that it was as if she were floating. The crowd gasped, and it wasn't just her. One by one, the humans demonstrated their incredible agility, their reflexes sharper than any of the other warriors had ever seen. The aliens, usually so self-assured in their abilities, began to exchange glances. These humans were not what they expected. Finally, the greatest test of them all, the endurance test, a fight to the death. The strongest of the alien warriors, beings of immense power and battle experience, were called into the arena. They would face the humans in a no-holds-barred combat match, with nothing but their skills to determine who would stand victorious. As the alien warriors charged, their weapons drawn, the humans did not falter. They were fast, coordinated, and fearless. One by one, the humans dodged attacks, countered blows, and fought with an intensity that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. The first alien warrior lunged with a massive energy sword, aiming for the human woman who had proven so agile. She moved to the side just in time, grabbing his arm and twisting it behind his back. The crowd gasped as she disarmed him, using his momentum to slam him to the ground. The next alien warrior, a towering creature made of solid rock, swung its enormous fists. The human male with the black hair ducked and weaved, dodging the blows with astonishing speed. He then struck with precision, a swift kick to the creature's knee, sending it to the ground with a mighty roar. The audience, previously so confident in the superiority of their own warriors, watched in stunned silence as the humans fought on, their power, agility, and endurance matching the might of the galaxy's strongest fighters. The master of the arena, who had spent countless eons watching battles unfold, could no longer hide his shock. The humans had surpassed every expectation. In their movements, there was a raw, untapped potential that no one had truly seen before. They were not just resilient, they were adaptive, learning, and evolving faster than anyone could comprehend. As the final bell rang and the last of the alien warriors was knocked to the ground, the humans stood victorious. They were battered, bruised, but unbroken. The crowd remained silent, the weight of what they had just witnessed sinking in. The master raised his hand again, signaling for the crowd to quiet. Today, the galaxy has learned something crucial. Humans, once thought weak, have shown us their strength, their resilience, and their untapped potential. They are no longer a species to be overlooked. They are a force to be reckoned with. And in that moment, the entire galaxy knew that the humans had not only proven themselves, they had sent a message that could not be ignored. The roar of the crowd had barely died down when the master of the arena's voice echoed across the stadium, booming like a thunderstorm. Victory, yes, but this battle is not yet finished. To truly understand the depth of your strength, humans, you must face the final trial. The humans, bruised but resolute, stood in the center of the arena, their chests heaving with exhaustion, but their eyes, those eyes glinted with unwavering focus. They had come here to show the galaxy that they were no longer the weaklings they were once thought to be. The final trial, the master continued, his voice steady but carrying the weight of authority, will be one of the mind and body. It is not enough to be strong. It is not enough to be fast. You must face the very limits of your endurance and learn to push beyond them. The air in the arena seemed to thicken with tension as the final challenge was revealed. A test of survival in a harsh, simulated environment. For 30 minutes, the humans would be placed inside a simulation that would force them to confront extreme heat, freezing cold, high altitudes, and pressure that no one should survive. The alien warriors, confident in their abilities, had sailed through the test with ease, but they had no idea what was coming next. Without a word, the humans stepped into the chamber. The air around them shimmered as the simulation began. The first trial was heat. The temperature inside the chamber shot up, instantly turning the air thick with heat. The humans sweated, but none of them faltered. Their training had prepared them for this moment. They had endured long hours in extreme conditions back on Earth, where survival often depended on their ability to adapt quickly. One of the humans, a young man with dark brown hair, gritted his teeth as sweat dripped from his brow. His body burned with the heat, but he pushed forward, each step slow and steady, focusing on breathing in deep, calming breaths. He remembered the lessons from his trainer, the old man who had taught him to fight not just with his body but with his mind. His trainer had told him, "The battle is won when you control the mind. If the mind is strong, the body will follow." The heat intensified, but the humans remained focused. They knew this was just the beginning. Next came the cold. The temperature dropped so rapidly that their breath turned to mist in the air. The icy winds cut through their clothing, chilling them to the bone. But where the alien warriors had struggled, the humans adapted. They huddled together for warmth, using their own body heat to survive. It was teamwork, something the humans excelled at. "Remember your family, your friends, your purpose," the man with black hair whispered, his voice barely audible above the howling wind. "We can do this, together." His words ignited something in the others, and their spirits lifted. The cold didn't seem as unbearable when they had each other. One by one, the humans navigated the frozen terrain, pushing through with determination and grit. They made it to the end of the cold trial, their bodies numb but their resolve stronger than ever. The final test awaited them. High altitudes and the crushing pressure of the galaxy's harshest environments. Alien species had long adapted to living in conditions that would crush most others. But the humans had something the aliens lacked: resilience born from their endless struggles on Earth, a planet where survival was never guaranteed. The humans were placed in a room where the air grew thin. The pressure began to mount, threatening to squeeze the life from them. Their breathing became labored, their lungs burning for air, but they refused to give in. Each step was a battle, but they held their ground. The young man with brown hair gritted his teeth, his fists clenched as he fought for control. He remembered the toughest days of his life, times when everything seemed lost, yet he never gave up. He had learned to fight through every obstacle, to refuse defeat no matter how impossible the situation seemed. The final bell rang, signaling the end of the trial. The humans stood, panting heavily but victorious. Their bodies were battered, their energy nearly drained, but they had survived. And in doing so, they had proven something even greater than their strength. They had proven their unbreakable spirit. The master of the arena, standing high above them, watched in silence. He was no longer the confident overseer of a battle arena. Today, he had witnessed something extraordinary. He could not deny the truth that was staring him in the face. The humans were more than capable of competing with the galaxy's finest. They were a force of nature that could not be ignored. One by one, the alien warriors stepped forward, their expressions a mixture of awe and respect. They had seen the humans fight, survive, and rise to the occasion, in ways that none of them could have predicted. These were not the weak, insignificant beings they had once thought them to be. They were powerful, resilient, and adaptable. They were worthy of the title warriors. The human team stood together, side by side, their eyes locked in determination. Their mission had been clear: to show the galaxy that humanity was not to be underestimated. They had succeeded. The master of the arena's voice echoed through the stadium again, this time filled with reverence. The humans have passed the trials, not with raw power, but with strength of spirit, not with speed, but with resilience, not with size, but with heart. They have proven themselves worthy of standing among the greatest warriors the galaxy has ever known. The crowd, once filled with skepticism, now erupted into applause. The alien warriors who had once laughed at the humans now stood in silence, recognizing the incredible feat they had just witnessed. The humans had done the impossible. They had risen from being considered weak to being hailed as one of the galaxy's strongest, and in that moment, the galaxy knew that they had underestimated the human race. The humans were not just survivors. They were fighters, warriors, and heroes.